shocking incident. This time around, 23-year-old techie was brutally murdered in Pune.
हमको ये इंसिडेंट होने का बाद जब वो दिन हमको छोटा लड़की है उसका सब हम बातचीत करता रहा तो लड़की हमको बताया, हाँ वो छोटी बहन है, वो हमको बताया जो हमको सिस्टर ने ऐसे कभी कभी बताता है जो वो लड़के बहुत प्रॉब्लम करता था।
देखा रोड के साइड में फुटपाथ पर कोई लड़की या लड़का का झगड़ा हो रहा है। 2-3 सेकंड के अंदर ये उठकर, मैं गाड़ी भी अभी स्टैंड नहीं किया था, वो मेरे को पकड़ के बोली बचाओ बचाओ। तब तक मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, फिर देखा बहुत ज़्यादा ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है।
स्पॉट्स ऑलरेडी हमारे रवाना हो चुके हैं और जल्दी ही हम इसमें जो एक्यूज्ड है उसको अरेस्ट करेंगे।
मैं मेरी क्या, मेरे और भी कोई लड़की तो मेरी लड़की है, वैसे तो सेफ्टी के लिए कोई भी चिंता ही करेगी ना।
जो मोबाइल पे नंबर दिए जाते हैं ना जो पुलिस के लिए, एक्चुअली में वो ज़्यादा अच्छा टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए क्योंकि बोलते हैं लेकिन वो नंबर एट ए मोमेंट उस वक्त लगता नहीं है।
कानून इतना सख्त बनना चाहिए, सज़ा ऐसी होनी चाहिए जो सज़ा सोच के लोग डरे। आई मीन एक सज़ा जब खतरनाक होगी तो वो लोग क्राइम करने से पहले डरे।
Another shocking incident of an attack on a woman, this time in the city of Pune, where a 23-year-old software engineer was stabbed to death by an unidentified person. And this is just one case, as every single day, young girls, single women, mothers, and women from all walks of life for that matter, are being assaulted, molested, and violated. Is women's safety in India a crumbling illusion? Are women not a priority? Do you feel safe in your own country as a woman? That's the big question we're asking tonight on The Urban Debate. Thank you so much for joining us over here. I'm Krishna Kumar, and to take it forward, I have with me a very special set of panelists. Here with me in the Mumbai studios, we have Ms. Aarti Sathe, a spokesperson of the BJP and an advocate herself. We have Ms. Trisha Shetty, lawyer and founder of SheSays, the NGO, and Mr. Sujay Kantawala, also a senior lawyer, joining us in Mumbai. And we also have Brinda, Adige, social activist, joining us from Bengaluru. Mr. Sanjay Tatkare, spokesperson of the NCP, joining us from Mumbai. I want to thank all the panelists who have joined us so far for taking time out to be with us here on the Urban Debate on Magicbricks Now. I'm going to start with Trisha over here. Trisha, you know, you've been in these studios discussing this. I just want to ask you, as a guy, for me, it is numbing that we're sitting here having this debate on yet another case where, you know, if anybody has any kind of sensitivity watching this, the parents of the girl who's just been murdered is going through. We've been through this again and again. And Trisha, when you see something like this happen, as an activist yourself and as a woman, a young woman yourself, what is the first question that comes to your mind? And more importantly, we've seen so many of them. Is there anything that can be done? Everything is reaching alarming levels. And this is certainly a case of alarm that we're sitting here again on the Urban Debate discussing another woman who's been brutally murdered, isn't it?
It's not really a question that comes to mind. It's a sense of reality yet again that women are just not safe. And anyone who says otherwise is lying. I'm tired of this narrative of enough is being done, we're doing enough. No, enough is not being done. Coming back to this specific case of stalking, Maharashtra ranks first in cases of stalking in India with, I think, 1,399 cases reported out of the 6,266 cases reported. And that in itself is an alarming reality for you right here, that Maharashtra is not a safe state. Coming back to on-ground realities and problems, victims' identities are still being disclosed. We know for a fact that police still indulge in victim blaming, shaming. State authorities, NCW has not taken suo motu cognizance of the 24-year-old who was raped, strangulated and set on fire. The fact that her identity was disclosed, they haven't taken suo motu cognizance of that either. It's just absolutely frustrating. Private hospitals don't take in rape survivors, acid attack survivors. They're specifically directed to government hospitals, where the line of questioning that survivors are put through is horrible. So it's systematic oppression, it's systems letting you down on a constant basis. And at this point, I think the only thing left to do is citizens revolting and saying, you know what, no more, where is our taxpayer money going? What about the Nirbhaya fund? Just asking for complete accountability at every level. And I'm tired of this enough is being done. No, it's not.
On that note, I'm going to take this to Ms. Aarti Sathe. Aarti, I just want to talk to you first as a woman and as a lawyer. All the systemic problems that Trisha has pointed out today and has been pointing out consistently right here on this channel. You know, when you look at this as a woman and as a lawyer, what are the thoughts that come to your mind?
Clearly, the thoughts are not very pleasant thoughts. I think the fact that, Trisha may have her set of complaints against the present governance, but I can completely assure you, in fact, I had a chat just a few hours back with Police Inspector Mrs. Narkar, who heads really the Department of Police, which takes care of women problems in Bombay, and they have their headquarters in Baikala, and she, in fact, also apprised me of the situation of the various measures which the police department with the government constantly providing them support is taking as far as women's safety is concerned. First and foremost, I think coming to the point that why this repeatedly is happening, I will come to the point as to how the governance steps are being put into place and are in place. I think we need a mindset change as far as these issues are concerned. Women's safety is a holistic solution needs to be really found for that. Mindsets as to that women can't be objectified, women can't, these kind of stalkers who feel like they're jilted lovers, like we were talking some time back. These kind of mindset changes really require NGOs like which Trisha is heading or other NGOs to bring about a more educative kind of process, which is really required. So that is the first step as far as bringing a change in the society as far as viewing women is concerned. Coming to the issue of governance and what the police and the government are really doing. The BJP government and the present government, as I have repeatedly said on this show, is absolutely committed to women's safety. Me as a lawyer, me as a BJP spokesperson, I strongly feel for this cause. We have set up apps, and there are apps called Police Mitra apps where even if you are not the victim, but if you want to really help the victim, then you can get yourself registered on that app, and that app immediately catches it and the police are at that spot.
All right.
103 is a specific dedicated line which the police have established. 6,000, just 1 minute, Trisha, we'll come to you. 6,000 CCTV cameras are being put into place. There is a recent GR which is being put out on 12th of May, wherein a committee has been set up where all these open spaces, actually that is after the Nirbhaya in Bombay, with the Shakti Mills case which I'm referring to, all open spaces which are unattended, special security will be deployed there. So various measures and various steps are being taken. And as I said right at the beginning, that a mindset change also needs to be put in place as far as the society is
Aarti,
concerned.
I cannot agree more with you on the fact that the mindset is probably the most difficult thing and probably the most crucial thing for it, for women to generally feel safe, feel like human beings in this country, because the mindsets that exist in this country make sure a woman does not feel even like a basic, fundamentally a good, decent human being. That's how a woman is being made to feel. I totally understand that. But before, Trisha, I will come to you. I'm going to get some other panelists in as well. Let me get another activist. Brinda Adige is also with us. We have Manju Kak also joining us from Delhi. And we also have Abha Singh joining us as well. Thank you all three of you ladies for taking time out to be with us over here. I'm going to take it one at a time. I'm going to go with Brinda Adige. Brinda, you've been hearing us talk about this. This is the latest case. This is from Pune. Mindset change is the biggest thing that we're fighting against, all of us over here. But before that mindset changes, what can be done right now?
First and foremost, I want to reiterate whatever Trisha said. Secondly, when we talk of mindset and all the so-called systems that have been put in place, what has the government done with regard to educating children, educating youth, youngsters with regard to mindset? The mindset bit of it going to NGOs is a very evasive and putting the blame and responsibility on the non-governmental organizations. What is the government doing? How far have your systems been put into place vis-a-vis police, prosecution and judiciary working together? Because we know even after your police has completed or has given a very good charge sheet and investigation has happened, the prosecution very many times brings down the case, and the judiciary is neither swift nor stringent. So when we talk of systems, we can't talk of just one arm or one wing of the government. And talking about mindsets, it is everybody's responsibility, not just the NGOs. NGOs are doing very
fair point.
Whatever they are doing out of passion, and it is small.
Fair point, Brinda. It cannot be the responsibility of the NGOs to change mindsets. That's a fair point. That's well taken. Absolutely. They will do their bit, but they cannot be entrusted with the fundamental responsibility of educating children in this country. So then they grow up.
scaling up an education.
Absolutely, absolutely. I take that point. I'm just going to take this to Abha Singh, who's a lawyer as well, an activist. We're talking about changing mindsets of we've been talking about this for a while now, and it's not going to happen overnight. I want to ask you a simple pointed question. Can the government begin by changing the police's mindset, get them to register stalking cases, Abha Singh?
How is crime going to be controlled by changing the mindset in the first place? Criminal justice talks of fear factor, imposing law and order, and in this specific case, when this girl, this techie in Pune, was telling her father that there is somebody who's stalking me, who is troubling me on the phone, why did the parents, or if the office people knew, why was an FIR under 354D stalking? Why was this FIR not registered? Why was this boy or this accused not arrested? There's an imprisonment of 3 years if in the first time offense. So my issue is this: we don't act when a crime comes in front of us. We just try to give it away like a chalta hai attitude. The father is regretting now, but had he been alert, he could have thwarted this crime from happening. So when we got the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013, where stalking, voyeurism, all these were made cognizable offences, why are we not using these IPC sections? In fact, in most of the acid attack cases, the person has always been a stalker, and here also the murderer was a stalker. So we are not using the law which is given to us. We are not making the police work, and what is not in the vicinity, like changing the mindset, we are debating that. Absolutely. So for me, it is not the mindset, it is the law which needs to be implemented, it is the law which needs to be executed, and in that area, if it was deserted, it was the responsibility of the companies who engage these girls to provide security and adequate light on the roads.
Absolutely, Abha Singh. The law exists for exactly these purposes, but it's not been implemented. It's not a question of mindset at this point in time. It's about implementing laws that already exist, and that's the reason why I'm going to take this to another lawyer this time around, a man, Mr. Sujay Kantawala. Sujay, I wanted to ask you a simple question. What Abha Singh was talking about is the fact that, changing mindsets is a long-term plan. God knows how many years it's going to take, but for now, the laws already permit us to catch these stalkers and imprison them or bring them under account so that a murder doesn't take place, and it keeps taking place too often. And this particular lady worked for a reputed software company in one of the bigger, more cosmopolitanized cities in this country, and this happens to her, very close by to her workplace. So the laws need to be implemented, don't they, Sujay?
Look, I am not going to get into the mindset. I don't care about the mindset. I am a father of a girl, and I am shocked and appalled at what is happening. Day in, day out, we are seeing these things happening. We also read about that 4-year-old girl who was kidnapped by 2 boys of her own locality, and she was strangulated by the mobile cord and she was killed. And then they made a ransom call to the father. Now, these kind of things are happening every day, and now juveniles, these 16, 17-year-old boys. What we need today is, and to add to what Abha said, what we need today is conviction. We need convictions to follow immediately. We need trials to be conducted immediately. We need the police to be alert and to immediately take into cognizance what is happening and immediately start the process of the law. People should not people should not hesitate while going to the police. That sensitivity has to be there, especially for women. That sensitivity has to be there. Register a case, do immediate investigation, file your charge sheets, secure your convictions, have an ace panel of prosecutors, and I'll tell you today on this national channel of yours, people like Abha and me, we will give up our practice for some time, appoint people like us as prosecutors and see the conviction rate that is going to happen, because we are shocked and appalled. Hang couple of these guys, give them death sentences. They don't deserve to believe if they snuff out life of people. What right have they got to take the life of somebody else? Nothing less than the death penalty should follow. Conviction should be swift, and only if certain people hang from the poles over there, then these incidences will get less. Absolutely, that's the only message which these people need to be shown.
Sujay, I'm sure nobody here on this panel disagrees with you and disagrees, or more importantly, understands the fear with which a man like you lives as well. I have a 23-year-old niece who I'm afraid God knows what's going to happen to her when she sets foot on the roads of India. But like Trisha said, look about this and what you're saying. You're talking about cases, no headway yet in the case of the 24-year-old physiotherapist in Mumbai who was raped and murdered till date.
That is the worst thing.
That is the worst thing.
I agree with you. That is the worst thing. Why there should not be headway? What wrong have we committed? We pay our taxes and we want to see justice being done. We give the police whatever they want,
and that's
whatever
not the only
funds
case.
they want.
And that's not the only case. What you're asking for is
want.
convictions. And as far as convictions goes, I'm sure Trisha has enough data to prove that there is conviction rate in this country for rapists is absolutely abysmal. I'm going to take this to Manju Kak as well. Manju, you've been hearing the panel debate this. I want to understand, what are your thoughts? Another woman, a young woman working for a reputed software organization, raped and murdered by juveniles in one of the bigger cities in this country. This has stopped shocking me. I'm sorry. I am right now numbed out, Manju.
Well, I think advertising industry, social media, or whatever you put out in terms of creative content has objectified women for a very long time, whether it is soap ads or whether it is ads for bartan or anything. And we don't really have enough stringent norms to actually create a kind of censorship on the advertising industry, whether it is digital advertising or whether it is cinematic or it's hoardings. And I think we don't have the kind of cultural levels in youth today who are coming from rural backgrounds or maybe from lower middle class families, where the exposure to this kind of intimacy and familiarity with women is not so high. And therefore, the aggression in the urban youth is extremely high for very, very many reasons. I mean, jobs and living conditions, and that aggression is shown in sexual aggression. That is one field where they feel that they can dominate. They have the power. That is something that has to be addressed much more deeply than in this kind of rhetoric. And we are not looking closely enough at these causes. This is one thing that I'd like to mention. It's a little different from what the rest of you are saying. The other thing is, of course, the police that we keep talking about. The lady from the BJP just said, oh, we put 6,000 this and 2,000 this and 500 this. Well, that's all very nice and it's very good on paper. What is public perception of that? Has the public perception of policing for women improved? If public perception has not improved, just coming onto the television and mouthing statistics doesn't really help the ordinary girl who is, going to catch an auto rickshaw, who's going to come late from office or whatever else. So what is government doing for public perception? And it's not just public, and it's not just government, it is also corporates and others, where there must be a blanket kind of a rule or a pressure to see that public perception of safety and protection of women is mandatory. So I think both advertising industry as well as the public perception that we put out, whether it's in terms of hoardings or whatever else we put, has to be there to make that consciousness and that sense of shame and understanding. When I was in school, which is like decades ago, there was something called an ethics class. It was a must. Everyone had to go for an ethics class. And today, kids are getting 97% in CBSE and 100%, and they're getting into IIT, but no schools have an ethics class anymore. They just don't have it.
It's a very valid point, Manju, that you've pointed out. The fundamental, instilling fundamental values to live in civil society. That subject is considered superfluous in our education system, to the point where we don't want to teach the kids what the values are.
In the Western world, the socializing of the kid and the socializing of schools, these things are very important. Our schools are factories. We do not have education that socializes people in the correct narrative, in the correct cultural narrative, or in the correct value system narrative. And that has gone from education for at least 3 to 4
Absolutely.
decades.
And Manju, I'm even more worried about those who don't even go through the school system, which is the bigger problem over here. I think that one is that you have the people not getting educated properly, and then you have a whole host of them who are not educated, who are suddenly entering the urban spaces. And that's also another problem. I think I'm going to get back to Trisha and Aarti from where this started, but I have to bring in there's some news coming in for all of the panelists over here. As we discuss violence against women, 9 women have been injured in an acid attack over a land dispute. Now, this happened in Kapurthala in Punjab, where the Sarpanch and the landowning family were involved in a clash over the piece of land. 7 female laborers and 2 women from the family that claims ownership over the land were injured. Both sides are blaming each other for the attack, and the police have arrested a member from the family that claims it owns the land, and that is how insignificant a woman's life in this country. I cannot stress on this anymore. I'm going to finish our panelists and get back to Trisha and Aarti. I'm going to start with Mr. Sanjay Tatkare. Mr. Tatkare, if you can hear me, as we are discussing this has not been a problem for the last 2.5 years. This has been a problem forever in this country, in the society, north to south, east to west. This has been a consistent problem. Systematically, we've made sure that it's difficult for a woman to lodge complaints. If at all she does, it is impossible to get a conviction. And second of all, our police stations even equipped, our hospitals being even equipped for women to even make a case. And now we're sitting and wondering how come these incidents keep happening.
See, it's very unfortunate and very saddening to again discuss on women's safety issues. And I completely agree with all the activists on the panel that there is a systematic error in thinking of the male counterparts. Secondly, what I feel strongly is why these issues are taking place is because of rapid urbanization happening across India. The issue is when you're in small towns and small cities, each one of us know the other person staying around. So there are less cases or less chances of stalking. As far as the urbanization is happening, the issue becomes more grave because there's hardly anybody who knows anybody, and unfortunately the woman becomes the soft target. Secondly, this problem also arises as far as communal tensions are there, caste tensions are there all over India, and as you rightly said, there is an incident in Kapurthala where nine women have been had to face an acid attack. So the issue is, as far as women are concerned, they are considered to be the weakest targets. And the easy target,
I have to say this, it's not just urbanization. Women have been soft targets in our society for a very long time, even before urbanization began. This is a far deep-rooted problem. I'm sure Trisha has been waiting to make her say. Trisha, I'm going to come to you now. There is also these angles given about urbanization.
That is what I'm saying.
Clashes, etc., etc. All of these contributing to violence against women. Do you think it's a matter of education versus not education? Can something be done to make urban spaces more safe, considering they become more difficult to maintain with so many people from outside of urban spaces coming into urban spaces because of rapid urbanization? Do you think all these arguments even make sense to you, Trisha?
I have a huge issue with terms like mindset change, with terms like urbanization and all being thrown around as an excuse for a woman's body to be fair game for anyone to come touch her and harass her. Coming back specifically, because I indulge in specifics as I deal with cases on ground, and I'm tired of listening to umpteen cases of girls come and share stories of being sexually abused. Even if you're talking about mindset change, okay, let's get to the specifics of that. Why is sex education not mandatory in Indian schools and colleges? You want to talk about mindset change? Let's start talking and teaching kids about consent. Why is the government not taking onus and ensuring that schools and colleges have mandatory sex education? We have the Minister of Women and Child Development who believes marital rape should not be criminalized because Indian women do not understand the concept of consent. Fine, then let's start teaching society concepts of consent. You want to talk about 103? It doesn't work outside Bombay. I've called up the number myself to try and test it. They're very good with making sure they pick up calls if it's in Bombay. Upon asking the police official, does 103 work anywhere outside Bombay? I got a very hesitant, you know what, no, it doesn't work. CCTV cameras, we heard the same argument when it came to CCTV cameras of the 24-year-old physiotherapist who passed away. They said, we'll try and find CCTV camera footage. You are not going to find CCTV camera footage in a chawl. There is no provisions for CCTV camera installments there. For fast-track courts, Delhi fast-track courts conviction rates has gone down in 2015 as opposed to 2014. So let's talk specifics. Private hospitals don't take in rape survivors. How will you instill the fear of law if law takes so long for people to meet justice? I mean, I love how everyone indulges in these, and again, I'm politically agnostic. My attack is not against any political party. What I'm trying to highlight are glaring inadequacies in the system. And every time we throw this out there, we say sensitization. Police should be sensitized. Mindset change. How are you going to get to all all of this. Give us some sort of like step 1, step 2, step 3. And where is accountability in all of this? Where is accountability against media publications who share victims' identity? A few days ago, you had a POCSO case of a raped child in Delhi where the perpetrator released her video on record, which you're not supposed to be doing. Where is accountability? How did he get access to that video? That video is on YouTube. So why are people not outraged and saying, you know what, this is the step-by-step manual and guideline to ensure women feel safe to take to streets? They are nothing. I don't see any of that.
Trisha, in fact, we here at Magicbricks Now have been asking for this as well. Why can't we make the database of those being found guilty under rape, under crimes against women? Why can't we make that public? If you put that in the public domain, be it your taxi aggregators or companies or any one of them, they don't, they first of all, when they screen them, these guys will be caught at first go. They're not allowed anywhere in the vicinity of women to cause any kind of harm.
Interject. Delhi police website does have that database of offenders based on stalking, voyeurism, rape, with their details, with their pictures, last known address. We need to implement that on all state levels.
Absolutely. Aarti, I'm going to come to you. Sujay has a point. Sujay, please go ahead.
See, when a case is brought before the police, what they have to do is that they have to go deep into the matter and the inquiry and then take the call whether they want to proceed with the matter. There are cases also where this is misused. Recently, a few days back, we read about a father who was in jail for almost 3 years. His own daughter made an allegation against me that he was raping her again and again. Finally, she confessed in the witness box that no, she did it because he wanted me to get married to someone. So see, one cannot just trust each and every complaint. So therefore, the police has to be very sensitive, very alert.
Mr. Sujay Kantawala, we're having
a discussion. They
discussion.
do not have the right to decline filing an FIR.
No,
they cannot. It is not their judgment call. They have to file every FIR.
So therefore,
and what is the context about fake
this also
cases?
can be misused. 1 minute. Let's not just take it that all men are bad. 1 minute. Let's not just take it with one kind of mindset and just go after every man possible in India.
I am not making this argument.
No, you cannot be unfair.
This debate is happening because as she just pointed out,
why are you bringing up fake rape cases in the context of this
cannot be
debate?
unfair.
So this case that you're talking about is a fake case. What is unfair in this?
Don't talk about one case.
Fake
We are
case
talking
has
about
no
99
context.
Father was in jail.
You're bringing up fake cases. Let's have a complete debate, different debate
So-
on that. My
so that
vitriol is
is
not
your
against
only
men.
excuse
Please
now?
understand that. I'm talking about systems. I have no animosity towards men as a gender. That is ridiculous. I don't think all men are rapists.
Mr. Kantawala, she just brought out statistical.
Therefore, I said at the start that
police should be more skeptical than they already are.
Nothing less than death penalty
Oh,
for somebody
please, we're tired of
who
nothing less than death. Nirbhaya rapists have not been hanged as of yet.
All right.
All of these
has
tall
to be
claims that
registered
people
and
make.
what not.
All right.
Don't bring up fake rape
All right. 1 second,
cases.
Mr. Kantawala. I think the emotions are even coming out simply because if you take the fake cases and against the real cases and the number of convictions which have gone down, as she just pointed out, for the year 2015, when conviction rates are going down, I am not saying there are no fake cases, but the actual cases far outweigh by a mile or by more than a mile, by infinite number of miles when it comes to the real cases. Brinda Adige, you wanted to say something, Mr. Brinda Adige. Please go ahead, Ms. Brinda Adige.
Yes. Let us not take one case and say that this, because it is a false case, all the other cases shouldn't be registered. The police have the know-how, they have the resources to do the investigation. If they have made a mistake in one case, that does not mean they have any right not to register. They are there to enforce the law, and there is the legislation. If they have failed in their investigation, then please pull up the police. Don't come and say that why should an FIR not be filed? This man was in the jail for 3 years, very sad. Yes, it is very sad. We are not telling that all men are bad. We are asking who gave the right to the police to decide what case to be filed, what FIR to be registered and what shouldn't be registered. That is not their job. A complaint has come. It is their job, their duty for which they are being paid to register and conduct an investigation and then decide whether it has to be closed down or further investigated.
All right. Ms. Adige, I want all the panelists to just hold for a moment because we have a caller coming in right now, a live caller who's joining us from Pune. Sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Advocate Banerjee, M.K. Banerjee, Manoj Kumar Banerjee from Pune.
Please go ahead, sir.
The first thing, that is the girl which has left the office, that is at 8:30 p.m. in the night.
Yes.
Yeah. Now almost all even in police station, we are not detaining a lady from sunrise to sunset. This is the rule. So working hours should be made that much flexible, that sunrise to sunset. After sunset, she should not be allowed to detain there. Okay. Number two, while going from office to home, there should be a transport as well as escort. It should have a well qualified.
Mr. Banerjee, I don't think the entire of society can work according to your personal viewpoints on this. There can't be any in-term or out-term. I'm really sorry I have to cut you off on this note because this is completely irrelevant to a larger, far more serious discussion we're having right now. Mr. Kantawala, I think the point here being made is that yes, there are fake cases, but the real problem is the fear that normal, regular women feel while setting foot on the roads of this country, from be it any city. No city is an exception in this country. Yes, the numbers, are upper niche in different cities.
May I respond?
Ms. Kantawala, I'm going to ask you to give me a very quick response. I need to go to other panelists quickly.
No woman in our country should ever have any fear. No woman should. I'm saying that again and again.
But how? If the case is being registered on the basis of whether it's going to be fake or not, how?
Therefore, the system has to be overhauled immediately. The police have to be made more sensitive. They have to register the complaint. I'm not saying that. They have to register the complaint. When a cognizable offence is there, they have no choice but to register the complaint. And in cases where we have got these heinous offences in front of us, there the conviction rate should be ensured. The charge sheet should be filed immediately. That is all I'm saying. We have to be very sensitive, and Indian men have to learn to accept rejection. We see most of the cases that spurned lovers and etc. all that, they need to accept rejection.
I'm going to bring in Abha Singh at this point. Abha Singh, do you want to respond to that?
Definitely, the most important issue is here, police will register an FIR when you go to the police. You have to make use of the laws. Like as you said, those 9 women in Punjab where acid was thrown on them. Acid attack was made an offence under the IPC only as recent as 2013. Most of the stalkers are the ones who throw acid, and yet the conviction rate is very poor. If we come to rape, the conviction rate as per the NCRB figures is just 29%. That means almost 70 out of 100, in 170 rapists go scot-free. If we come to murder, it's barely 50%. So it is necessary that conviction is 100%, justice delayed is justice denied. It has to be speedy, and above all, do not take such matters lightly. If somebody is stalking you, somebody is bullying you on the internet, somebody is on the computers sending you emails, go ahead, lodge an FIR. In fact, the new law 166A of the IPC very clearly says that if the policemen do not register your complaint, the policemen can themselves be arrested, and the imprisonment prescribed is almost 6 months to 2 years. So when there are strong, harsh laws, we are not using them. We are callous, we are casual towards our security. Also, these multinationals have to be made accountable. If you are engaging women at late hours, you have to ensure they should have no choice but to deliver them, but to take them to their residences. They have to be made, that vicarious liability has to be there. All these multinationals which engage girls in night shifts, they should be held accountable. Only then we will be able to make our girls safe.
All right. Good point, Abha. You know what? As Trisha was pointing out, we have some data that I'm going to bring to everybody's notice, and I'm going to bring in a caller before I get to Manju Kak. We have this is based on Mumbai police data. It takes, on an average, 9.2 months to file charge sheets in rape cases and 21.3 months to reach Sessions Court. And last 5 years, only 54 of 246 cases accused were convicted. This is the data. And this is exactly, I think, what Trisha was making this point about. This data clearly shows 9.2 months for a charge sheet and over 21 months to reach the Sessions Court. That's what we're talking about. We're not even talking about conviction over here. Conviction is like 1/5 of the entire number of cases where accused were convicted. On this note, I'm going to bring in a very important phone call that's coming our way. Here's a man, Mr. Pujari, who lost his wife to a similar case. I can't say this right now, but I'm just going to ask Mr. Pujari to have the same. Mr. Pujari, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the Urban Debate on Magicbricks Now. I just want you to tell our audience first as to what you went through and what your take of the system is. Mr. Pujari, if you can hear me. Mr. Pujari, if you can hear me, this is Krishna Kumar.
Yeah, I hear you. Just okay. Hello, I'm just. I just want to talk with some last from 7 years. Okay.
Okay.
The case is gone in the session court. So I'm waiting for the justice last from the 7.5 years, but I can't get justice because of the all things which are.
पुजारी जी एक मिनट ठहर जाइए, मैं पूरा केस आपको आई विल टेल द ऑडियंस द पूरा केस. Mr. Pujari's wife, Naina Pujari, was allegedly repeatedly raped and eventually murdered by a cab driver and friends in the year 2009. She is believed to have been forced into a cab and then driven to 3 different locations. Her ATM card and belongings were stolen and misused over again. And her husband, Mr. Pujari, who is there on the phone line with us, is still fighting for justice. Keep in mind, this happened in 2009 and this is 2016 end. We're talking about in 2017 almost. Pujari ji, आप ये 7 साल हो गया आपके साथ. ये 7 साल में आपने क्या क्या देखा? अगर जस्टिस लेना उतना मुश्किल है क्या इस तरह के केसेस में? आपने क्या फेस किया? पुलिस के सामने, एडवोकेट्स के सामने, कोर्ट्स के सामने आपने क्या फेस किया?
Yes, completely. Actually, it's very difficult to get a justice for the common man. अगर आम आदमी के साथ ऐसा कभी होता है तो उसके सामने वही है कि सिस्टम उसको पता नहीं है. पहली बात तो ये है. In system there are a lot of things included like पुलिस हो, जो अपना न्याय व्यवस्था हो या और सारी बातें हैं. जो फील्ड के ऊपर मैंने महसूस किया है कि उसमें पहली तो बात यह है तो कि उसको फेस कैसे करना ये पता नहीं चलता है, क्योंकि पहले ही हम लोग स्ट्रोक में चले जाते हैं. फैमिलीज वगैरह ऐसे कुछ एक चीजें हमारे साथ हो जाती है तो पहले संभालना मुश्किल हो जाता है. उसके बाद सिस्टम के साथ सिस्टम जानने के लिए पूरा मतलब पुलिस के साथ कैसे बिहेव किया जाए, पुलिस हमको कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करती है. पुलिस का केस जब हमारी केस पुलिस स्टेशन में जाती है तो उसको चार्जशीट बना के स्टेशन तक जो जर्नी है. हेलो
बोलिए.
हेलो. वो जर्नी बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है. एक्चुअली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट चार्जशीट आवर केस इज स्टैंडिंग इन दिस सेशन कोर्ट ओनली. लेकिन मैंने ये महसूस किया है कि एक्चुअली इस तरह के जो केसेस होते हैं उसमें थोड़ा सा पुलिस इतना सीरियस नहीं होती है. जब चार्जशीट दाखिल किया जाता है तो उसके बुनियाद के ऊपर एक्चुअली हमारा केस सेशन में खड़ा रहता है. उसके हिसाब से एक्यूज है क्रिमिनल, उनको सजा मिलती है. लेकिन उसमें अगर शुरू में वन ऑफ द लॉयर जो इस केस को अच्छी तरह से स्टडी करके वो सिर्फ एक्चुअली डायरेक्शन गाइडेंस पुलिस को दे दे तो मुझे लगता है कि किसी भी मतलब रेप हो या कोई भी मतलब स्त्री सुरक्षा के मामले में कोई भी अगर मतलब मामला दर्ज किया जाता है अपने पुलिस स्टेशन में तो उससे हेल्प हो सकती है. दूसरी बात मुझे एक
पुजारी जी आपसे ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि जब आप पहले ये एफआईआर फाइल करने जाते हैं, ये पुलिस ही ये केस को ठीक से नहीं लेती है, ठीक से अप्रोच नहीं कर लेती है, उसकी इसी की वजह से कन्विक्शन में इतना प्रॉब्लम होता है. आप यही कहना चाह रहे हैं ना?
यही कहना चाहता हूँ बिकॉज ऑफ द कैजुअल अप्रोच ऑफ द पुलिस. और सही तरह से डायरेक्शन.
पुजारी जी पहली बात ये तो है कि हमारे साथ बातचीत करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. हम अभी प्रार्थना करते हैं आपको जस्टिस मिले, जल्द से जल्द मिले आपको जस्टिस. इसी शो में प्रार्थना करते हैं आपके लिए. थैंक यू सो मच अब हमारे साथ बातचीत करने के लिए. आरती साठे, यू वर टॉकिंग, प्लीज गो अहेड.
Yes, I was listening to all the panelists, and when I said at the beginning of the show that mindsets need to be changed, doesn't mean that, we take away the responsibility of the government or the systemic changes which need to be brought about or which are slowly being brought about. What I meant by mindset change is that it's really a sociological problem. Most of these crimes which really take place, unless like a case like the Nirbhaya or probably the present, I don't know, this is still under investigation, normally always have a history. It may be a jilted lover, it may be somebody in the family who is, perpetrating that kind of crime. So really that is why the sociological problem which is so prevalent in our country, that really needs to, everybody, all arms of the society, government, NGOs, even when, even families, when they, bring up children, when the upbringing of children take place between a boy boy and a girl, how both of them are treated not probably equally. I think at all levels that change needs to be to take place.
Absolutely.
On the other issue, which which I wanted to say, that how police are really being sensitized, and police need to be sensitized. Police need to take into need to get the FIR in order if it's a cognizable offence. In fact, now there is a new scheme which has been started called Police Didi, wherein certain teams of police officers actually visit schools, primary schools, pre-primary schools, where small girl children are actually educated about the right kind of touch or the wrong kind of touch, where they feel friendly to the police to approach the police. So there are changes which are being brought about at a more holistic level, is the point I'm trying to make.
That's right. That's right. Even as the holistic approach that needs to continue, it's a long-term objective. We cannot continue the way we are.
And the latest GR of 12th May also has made a recommendation, or actually has said that more special public prosecutors need to be really appointed. So all these cases really get fast-tracked, and there is a conviction rate which happens.
Need to be appointed. There is a gap over there.
Of course, there's a gap, and there is a judicial legislative reforms which have brought into place in August 2014. So all these things will really bring about the much-needed change.
Okay. I'm just talking to you on a day in which this has happened. So which means that I'm hoping that it's faster than ideological change or thought process change.
I agree. But
I'm just going to hold on, Mr. Kantawala. Just hold on. I'm just going to take this to Mr. Sanjay Tatkare, who is the spokesperson of the NCP. NCP runs the civic body in Pune. Mr. Tatkare, I just wanted to ask you a simple question. You knew about this case, right? And now the man is still absconding. We know who the person is. We know who the perpetrator is. And now the person is absconding. And you run the civic body in Pune. Your party does.
Unfortunately, the civic, just let me complete. Unfortunately, the civic body is not responsible for the safety and security of the city. It is the state government, because police is the state subject. Secondly, unfortunately, in Maharashtra, past 2.5 years since the BJP government has come, the law and order situation has been deteriorating for a simple reason, that the chief minister holds the home department, and he has a lot of responsibilities in terms of inaugurating everything, and he has really no time for to look into all these
Where
issues,
is the man? Where is the perpetrator of this heinous crime? How is he?
Just let me complete.
Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Absolutely, that's something the commissioner, that is something the commissioner of police, who is directly reporting to the chief minister, has to answer. Secondly, Ms. Sathe is always is continuously talking about the apps. Unfortunately, this government has been running off apps. And the problem with the BJP government is they feel...
Sir, we're not going to make this into a BJP versus NCP slugfest over here. That is not the point of this discussion. I'm really sorry. I only asked you as an NCP person because your party runs the civic body over there. I'm going to take this to Mr. Kantawala and then I'm going to bring it to Ms. Manju Kak after this. Mr. Kantawala, you want to make a point? Please go ahead.
Krishna, I want to make a simple point. There are committed lawyers. Abha is a committed lawyer. I am a committed lawyer. We are hundreds of such committed lawyers are there. And we are appalled at what is happening. Give one case to every committed lawyer, make him the prosecutor. He will conduct the trial in a fast manner. He will conduct the trial in a committed fashion. And he will see to it that from the facts and materials on record, there is a quick conviction. Appoint one prosecutor per case. We are willing to do that for our country, for our state, and for the women. We are willing to do that. So, and I'm sure Abha will welcome this suggestion that give us one case each and see to it that prosecutors are appointed. I'm sure the cases will be fast-tracked on that count also.
Abha, do you agree with that? I'm going to bring this back to Manju after that. Abha, quickly, can you give us a response on that?
Definitely there can be, in fact the Supreme Court also gets senior counsels as amicus curiae, so we can definitely come and assist the public prosecutors, because some of the public prosecutors are so ill-equipped, they don't have the adequate cases, law books, they are overburdened with cases, they cannot do due justice to each and every case. So I think pro bono some lawyers can definitely come forward, but what is important is that conviction has to be 100%, that there has to be a time bound frame. You may have set a fast track court saying that the case will be decided in 3 months. But here on your channel, you are saying that it is taking almost 9 months to file a charge sheet. There are cases where police takes years and years. So till the time police also acts in a time bound manner, the forensics arm of the police is strengthened, we will not be able to fight this crime, increased crime against women.
All right, point taken. I'm going to take this to Manju Kak. Manju, you've been hearing us talk about this. You've been hearing us lawyers tell us that, you know, if the lawyer community can start taking one case per lawyer pro bono, then there can be a serious improvement in conviction rates, a serious improvement in those really abysmal statistics that we have at this point in time for violence against women. I want to understand your take on this.
Yes, I think that's a very good move, certainly. I wanted to also suggest that why are we not having things like, you know, a rapist or somebody who, like this gentleman who is absconding, why isn't his property seized? Why don't we have laws in which a person who is caught red-handed, or especially in cases of such severe brutality, why is his property not seized because of such crimes? I mean, why doesn't the shoe pinch the legal system or the police or whatever it is if it drags it out to this extent? Yes, so whatever it is. And the other thing, though media is doing a very good job, why doesn't media find enough policemen, patrolling policemen, or policemen who are SHOs or darogas? Why don't you find such people to come onto your television channels? Because that's where the actual crux of sensitization or public opinion or feedback actually comes.
Manju Kak, I have to come to this point. Sorry to have to make this point over here. They refuse to come. It's not like we don't want them to come. We try, but they refuse to come. They're not allowed to speak, and that is the reason why there's not a single policeman on this panel. Otherwise, we would have got at least one of them in this panel. We try, but they don't come, and mainly because they're not allowed to speak. I'm just going to take this to Brinda Adige as well, who's been waiting to say something. Brinda, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to the person or municipal corporation. Nobody stops you from going to the police station to review and find out how many cases have been filed, what is the status of those cases. Nobody stops you from finding how many street lights are working and they are not, or those that are not working, or where there are no street lights. What about the local bus system? What about the transport? Every time I come on this channel, or even for that matter any other channel, you always start off by washing off your hands and saying that,
I hope you're hearing Ms. Brinda Adige out of here.
Yes, and saying this is not my purview.
You need to take responsibility. People have trusted you and voted for you, and you have a responsibility. You are accountable to your constituency.
Absolutely.
Every time if you say that this is not my subject, this is not my subject, then why do people have to vote in municipal councillors at all? Why should the corporator be voted? Because you have
I think it's time for a women's political party to be formed.
Well, we'll wait for that, but I think enough can be done even before that political party is being formed. Mr. Tatkare, do you have a response to what Ms. Brinda Adige was asking you? Because that's exactly what I was asking you.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that is correct. But see, the issue is safety and security of women is the responsibility of the police and the government.
Yes.
Now there are so many things each of us can do. But the primary responsibility lies with the police. If the police and the government
the elected representative of the people, that's exactly what Ms. Brinda Adige is saying, and that's what I am saying. I'm sure every other panelist agree with that.
The primary responsibility lies with the police.
All right, I don't think it's going to get very far, Mr. Tatkare. I'm going to bring in Trisha at this point.
The primary responsibility lies with the elected representative. That is why you have been elected into power.
Trisha,
yes,
I want you to have your say.
Panchayat, and it could be the corporator.
No, that is not the security and safety is not
the
please hold responsibility of elected representatives. No, absolutely not.
So,
okay, Mr. Tatkare, please hold on.
So you are going to have this as one of your slogans when you go for voting. No, security and the safety.
Not whether it is narrow understanding of responsibility.
That's right. It's a very narrow understanding of responsibility. Manju, please go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Very narrow understanding of responsibility. Elected representative means you look at the holistic welfare of the people who have elected you. It doesn't stop you from creating advocacy for these issues. You can't just say, oh, this is not my business, so I'm not going to do this. What if it happens in your own home? Is that how you're going to respond? I mean, you're a shame.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the primary responsibility is with the police.
This will be your slogan for the next election.
तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं है इससे. क्या बात आप कर रहे हैं? You should be hounded by your electorate who has elected you.
Mr. Tatkare, can I ask you a simple, even more simple question? Are there enough street lights in Pune? Are there enough CCTV cameras in Pune? Because that at least comes under your responsibility, right? Street lights, CCTV cameras. I can go on in this list which comes under the municipality's responsibility.
अगर सड़क में बत्ती नहीं है, आप कहेंगे मेरी responsibility नहीं है. आप 100 बार फोन करेंगे कि बत्ती नहीं है यहाँ, बत्ती नहीं है यहाँ.
No, I'm not talking about that. That is of course the civic responsibility. I'm talking about safety. I'm talking about the police responsibility.
You are accountable to the people.
सड़क पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है, आप क्या करेंगे? You say this is not my business.
State government, the Home Department, and the police.
What are you? Mr. Collective?
So what are you doing
I didn't say that. You're putting words into my mouth.
Or do you represent the word isolated?
You washed off your hands by saying it is not my responsibility.
I'm questioning the state government and the Home Department and the police department. The commissioner of police is responsible for the safety and security of everybody.
Sorry, you're washing off your hands.
It is shameless. If acid is thrown on any one of your councillors, what will happen? Why are women not throwing acid on men?
You should be questioning the state government and the Home Department.
Then why are you sitting in on this panel? It's clearly not your responsibility, right?
You're
so desperate to shirk responsibility. With the zeal that you're shirking responsibility, if you took onus for women's safety, we would not be in this deplorable state that we are right now. Only thing that you've indulged in is political, mudslinging and saying this is not my responsibility.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen on the panel, please hold on. I'm going to ask a simple point question to Aarti. Manju Kak, please hold on. Ms. Manju Kak, please hold on, because I think the point is very clear. Nobody can shirk responsibility, and this is just ridiculous the way the shirking of responsibility is taking place at such a sensitive moment, sensitive point we're discussing. I'm not
shameless.
He was talking about how it is the state government's responsibility. I want to understand, if it is not the NCP which runs the municipality in Pune's responsibility, that this kind of heinous crime and gruesome murder has happened, then if it is the state government's responsibility, Aarti, Sathe, then what exactly do you think the state government is doing on this front?
Why doesn't he liaison with the state government?
1 minute. If
Coming on national
I think the question
television
is for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold on. Let Ms. Aarti Sathe respond,
the question is for me. What the state government is doing
municipality is not supposed to look after law and order. That's the police job.
1 minute. Can I just respond to what has been asked? The Home Department is very much in, Home Department does take care of the law and order situation. But ultimately, when a crime is committed, the first point of contact is the police. The police have to be connected. The police, of course, they come under the purview of the Home Department. The police will do whatever is necessary to take care of all these situations. And if the state government needs to step in at any point of time, or the Home Minister or the Chief Minister for that matter needs to step in at any point of time, then obviously that will happen. So as far as shirking away responsibility is concerned, there is no shirking away responsibility. In fact, I just now gave a list of measures or a slew of measures which have been really implemented or are in the process of being implemented as far as women's safety is concerned. Women's safety is also of prime...
Your government cannot catch one absconder.
It's not a question of catching
your government cannot catch one absconder. This is just semantics, madam, just semantics.
And they have
we have to go through the...
come on.
Perform their duties. The police has to register.
That is why your system, you blame the red tapeism, you blame the system, but it is in your power to make the changes.
Of the police are concerned, obviously the police is doing it. Now, whether the functioning of the police is right or wrong, whether it is adequate or inadequate, is something which needs to be monitored and which the state government...
What is Mr. Fadnavis doing?
Mr. Fadnavis cannot go into every household and see what is happening. For that matter, in fact, the psychologist or the psychologist who was raped, 1 minute, Mrs.
If Chief Minister shows humanitarian instinct, every policeman will get up.
Please, I understand.
Home Minister, but here Mr. Fadnavis refuses to give the Home
I'm requesting all of them to calm down. Let Ms. Aarti Sathe have her say, please.
I understand the angst and anger father, I'm equally a woman, I'm equally a lawyer, I'm equally a responsible government functionary in that sense. So I'm not shirking away the responsibility, but to say that what is the Chief Minister doing is a very incorrect statement to make. We ultimately have separation of powers. Every authority, every body has been given certain powers, certain duties to perform.
Correct.
As far as the crime
is his responsibility first not public service and humanitarian?
Minister has not appointed an independent home minister. Mr. Fadnavis is sitting over the police department when he doesn't have the time.
We hold Fadnavis responsible which portfolio the Chief Minister chooses to keep.
He has grabbed the police department. He has destroyed the police department.
Chief Minister, in fact, at all points of time,
Madam, the life of one woman is not important to your party or your government.
Do not politicize the issue in such a way that women are not important or women are important to our party.
No, it is a fact. Mr. Fadnavis has not looked into law and order.
Everything possible to bring about a law and order situation. Police are being sensitized.
No,
in the
madam.
PIL's file, we are giving our
Madam, this is not a cool-headed legal issue. This is a response of the heart.
Official duty.
This is a response of the heart.
Not an issue, and we don't have a home minister in this state.
I'm requesting all of you to hold your peace.
Scott, nothing else will be done.
Absolutely, the point is well taken. I'm just going to end this urban debate with one last word to Trisha Shetty. Trisha, you've been hearing this, this particular discussion. You've been through many of them before. I want one last word in from you. Even as we are fighting, you have a woman who's a lawyer next to you who's saying that the system is doing what it can. You have other people shirking responsibility, saying that this is not municipality, this is police, that is somebody else. And in the meanwhile, you have lawyers saying that, our community can do something. We can take up pro bono cases, and, that can help in the legalities of it all.
It's a question of...
You're hearing all of this as a young woman who runs an NGO, who is doing things which our government is supposedly doing. Now they want the NGOs to do it, the sensitization, etc., etc. As a woman who's been through so many, who knows every single thing that needs to be known about violence against women in this country, I want you to have the last word on it before we wrap it up quickly.
Again, I'm going to come back to accountability. Going back to Police Didi, that is an excellent initiative. But we've had an instance in Delhi, I would like to say, I'm not exactly sure, where these police officials went around and told children how to keep themselves safe from cyber abuse by not posting quote-unquote seductive pictures, such that it will incite violence towards them. So there are measures being put in place, but are they being done right? So again, I'm going to come back to accountability. I'm not even going to address Mr. Sanjay Tatkare because I think he should take off his mic and walk away since he's so conveniently shirked off responsibility. Accountability
Trisha,
on all measures.
This is not about personal vitriol. This is not about one person or one.
It is personal in the context of, is anyone taking accountability? Are there measures being put in place to ensure that cases will be handled at a certain period of time? We talk about sensitization. No, let's focus and obsess more on accountability.
On implementation, more than sensitization, the fact of the matter is that, as Abha Singh, the lawyer, pointed out, we do have laws in this country. It needs to be implemented. As every single senior lawyer on this panel pointed out, that as long as lawyers take it up, there are enough laws to make sure conviction rates go up, to make sure registration of these cases go up. There are ways and means to do it. The law enables it to do so. Yes, there are efforts being made, but it's a matter of making it work. It's a matter of implementing it, and sensitization can come over a period of time, but implementation and accountability of that implementation needs to go up. That is the need of the hour. On that note, I'm going to thank every single panelist who has taken time out to be with us here on the Urban Debate on Magicbricks Now. And thank you, audience, for watching this. And let's really hope that all of you watching it are thinking as you're watching. And tomorrow morning, we start getting to work on this, if not before that. And with that, this is Krishna Kumar saying good night.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/MagicBricksNow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at MagicBricksNow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/MagicBricksNow.